Recently, a screenshot from 2009 was shared showing me using homophobic language, a slur that is not okay to use, something that I don't use in my daily language. Uh, it was very shameful and embarrassing that these screenshots were released, and the fact that I was appropriating a term that is hurtful and depicted as a slur. I am very sorry for doing all that, and I hope we can move on with the show from there. And we're back.
There we are. Yeah. Huh. It was good. We're here. We're doing this. Another Friday. In your face. Ready to go. Ready to possibly bust that ass wide open with some great news. So, what else? What? We're here to bust asses open. No? I thought that's what we were doing. I thought we were slaying. I thought we were coming into the show hot. No?
Bryan, we're the most hated podcast on the internet.
We're not in here just fucking slaying it up. No?
I mean,
all right.
We should probably.
Do we need to restart?
I should probably have some reserve because we don't need to be going out guns blazing and end the show on episode 118. All right, we've had a good streak of guests. There's been a lot of good things going on. It bothers me that our reputation has become a podcast that cancels bands because that's never what we were, are, or will be. We don't cancel anyone. We don't have the power to do that. I'm pretty sure podcasts that have the power to cancel people probably get paid a lot more. I'm just saying. You know, maybe that's SOTS money. I'm just saying. Who knows? The fact is that we're a new music podcast above anything else. That's honestly what bothers me the most, that people misconstrue everything that we do and have done to be an attack on particular bands or fan bases. Because those so-called attacks that we do could never exist if the band didn't provide us with something to speak on. We've always spoke on abuse. We've always spoke on allegations. We've always spoke on issues that other podcasts won't touch. Other magazines won't touch, like Alternative Press won't touch shit. We learned recently that the State of the Scene podcast won't touch these types of stories. And me pointing that out became a pick me podcast, I guess. But you should have picked us anyways, because we speak on these things when those guys turned and ran from it. That was shameful. That was shameful of them. And I think they know it and they've backtracked on that shit. If someone comes to you with a story like that, it's a delicate subject. There's been a lot of instances that people have come to me with stories, whether it was the Mikey Sawyer thing or the Dance Gavin bullshit that we have to deal with. And I can't just run to a podcast and turn that into content. That's not what this is about. But you can help these people and you can offer them everything in the world. There's a bunch of shit that I've heard recently that we can't get out into the open and discuss more because people are scared of these toxic fan bases. And so you end up in situations where I'm stuck now. I can't speak on it, and it's sitting there, and it sucks. It's never been about clout chasing. Bryan, did we get any clout from this?
No, and I'm glad that we're deciding to address it this way, because I feel that we are speaking some pretty blank points, and clout. No,
I'm not shooting blanks. I'm fertile over here. We're shooting big fucking loads. Okay, I'm talking about the fucking love and support that we get on YouTube. This is the most insufferable podcast ever. I love that. Fuck Marcus and I Hate the Scene. Both of them can get hit by a semi. Look, I'm okay with getting hit by a semi, and you're mad at me for that, but don't group me in. I don't want to have to die next to Marcus from State of the Scene podcast. Okay, that's fucking deplorable. That's not in my cards. What else we got? That I Hate the Scene guy is a douche too. Hell yeah, he's a mega douche. Lard ass, smelly looking motherfucker for real.
So I don't want to cut you short. I want to give you your time to vent it out.
Cut me tall.
I'll cut you whatever way you want, baby. But I mean, you got more to add to that? Because you made several great points and a few that I feel like need to be underscored just for the sake
It
of.
is no coincidence that the people with the worst things to say about this show, or me in particular, are all fans of one particular band. No one came out the woodwork and attacked my credibility or my appearance or anything we do on this show when we quote unquote canceled Mikey Sawyer. We didn't cancel Mikey Sawyer. We were brought stories of abuse from Mikey Sawyer and then unwillingly participated in the harassment that Mikey Sawyer does. And so that opened my eyes to a lot of things. Hell, that harassment furthered my crusade in all of this. I finally got to feel like, oh wow, this is what people feel like when they're getting harassed and they're trying to be silenced by dumbasses like that. Because you know what, Brian? In another video, we're going to have to tell how Ronnie Radke bullied me, and I live to tell about it. Because he did the same exact tactics. They just want to silence you. Anyway, story for another time.
That is a fair point, and shout outs to Ronnie. Hey buddy, how are you? I think that we have, and for the sake of not sounding cheesy or marketable, but I feel like we have always brought people an underground approach, and we have kept things unfiltered, uncensored, what have you. And that only adds to probably some of the heat that we're taking and some of the things that we do. But listen, it's only you and me. Right now we don't have a team really building this with us. Jordan as well, obviously. Shout outs to Modro. What up, man? Hope you're feeling good. We are very small right now, and we've had teams work with us before in the past, and we've realized that in order to go about things how we want to do it, we just got to keep it kind of small, and people I don't think understand that. Over the last year and a half, we've really put together some sort of I don't necessarily want to call it cult-like following, but people turn to us. People turn to us for news. They're always coming to us with tidbits, new bands to check out, music info. Hey, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? And we don't speak on a lot of it. We don't speak on a lot of it, for one, because we're professionals and we choose to go about our work a certain way. And two, that's really not what we are. We're not a breaking news meeting yet. We may get there. We may evolve eventually, but right now
we're just a big respected news outlet that could provide actual breaking news in I think back to an absolutepunk.net era. That website brought you the news for these types of bands probably better than anyone else. And what it evolved into is different now.
Yeah.
But I would love to do that one day, but we don't have a staff for that.
I say all those things though to preface this. Our part in this scene in particular has always been one that has been very involved. We've always been to shows, doing in-person interviews. We've never been the gossip, the tabloid. We've always just approached it. Hey, we're going to interview bands. We're going to ask cool questions that we, as real fans, with
that statement when it comes to the Dance Gavin Dance videos.
I don't care.
They would say that was gossip.
I mean,
where does gossip and news begin and end?
This is my point. The few times that we have gone in and done the gossip route, and this is the whole point I'm trying to articulate here, we've done so because it's something that we have felt passionate about and that we felt important about. The Mikey Sawyer thing is very serious. Abuse in all categories, shapes, forms, sizes is very serious. And I think people lose sight of that, especially when it is maybe a small scale podcast covering a small scene. But listen, this kind of shit deteriorates the music and the culture that we appreciate and that we like, and the whole reason that we're here covering these kinds of things. And when it does come to bands that we have been personal with, we know the people that we've talked about on personal levels to that extent. This is things that we feel need to be covered. We've never ever leaned into that unless it's been strictly important and strictly something that needs to be talked about, only because it is a part of the culture in of itself. Dance Gavin Dance and the Mikey Sawyer situation are the two times that we have gone in real fucking hard and dedicated episodes to and actually stood aside and covered completely different topics than we normally touch.
We put in work with. We brought you exclusives.
It's been two very important things in the scene by people that we do have connections with. Okay. So we chose to come and talk about these things and discuss these things and get involved the way that we did because we felt that we had some weight in the situation. Now, to where it got wonky and to where it got weird, listen, and this is coming from a communication specialist, just listen to me. We cannot communicate through social media effectively. That's plain and simple. Unless it's long form, we can't. And unfortunately, we got caught up on Twitter, Reddit, fucking the Dance Gavin Dance subreddit came after us real hard. I lost nearly 200 fucking upvotes in a storm on fucking Reddit. Okay, the Twitter fucking verse came after us, and that only allows us 280 characters, if I'm not mistaken. There's nuance to these kinds of things, guys, and there's a graph out there, and you all know what I'm talking about. A web graph, I believe is what it's called, but it's a circle, right? And off of the circle, you're going to have several little pegs, and all those pegs are going to have circles attached to them. And then each of those individual circles have a ton of pegs. Those are the kinds of things that we get in these types of conversations. We'll make a point. We'll point something out. We'll point out a fact or a point of abuse, or we'll point out a statistic or something, and people nitpick and tear that apart and go after it. And it just falls into this echo chamber. There's this tribal think, especially in the social media universe. So that's where we did get caught up. But bear in mind, we have never done anything out of a like moral and integral basis in our work, and that's just to bring the news and the information and the community that we really truly love and share it with you guys. And the reason that we did this again is because these are very important things, and this shit hurts the fucking scene. The fact that people are arguing whether or not the abuse is justifiable is a disgusting off argument in of itself. Like, those aren't the types of arguments we need to be having.
Looking at just the music, it's a damn good time to be a DGD fan.
And hey, that's to say that they're not talented musicians is a lie. They're very talented musicians. But listen, that comment right there is ignoring the fact that it's probably a little bit more than just about the music. I hope everybody listens to the lyrics real clean. That's a thing that I've seen all over Twitter and Reddit. Man, these lines hit a little different, don't they? These lines, especially with the Tillian
now
songs.
The music makes sense. Son of a bitch. It's crazy how that happens.
Lines get a little bit deeper on the cuts, don't they? And like, come on, guys. I hope you listen to the lyrics real close. You think that they chose Die Another Day as the latest single by chance? You didn't think that was part of the whole fucking marketing ploy, and like the whole reason to keep this band afloat is that they're still going to have phenomenal music? Yes, it's great fucking music. That doesn't mean that the situation isn't fucking a bad situation that should have some attention on it. So that's what we chose to do. And I can't say that we're wrong.
I'm not a person that separates art from music. I've tried. It doesn't.
It's hard when we're in it deep. It's hard.
Like, we wouldn't have a music podcast if we weren't obsessed with music of all genres, not just the posters you see behind me. Like a lot of shit. It's like the R. Kelly thing. There's R. Kelly songs I enjoy. Like, there's Jay-Z collaborations I liked. I can't go back and listen to that shit. Like, I'm not going to go dig that shit up on a hard drive somewhere and look for R. Kelly. If it's removed off of Apple Music, I'm good. I don't need, it's done. You know, I had a guy on tour one time who sound checked all the time with Michael Jackson. And that was always like the most universally appropriate music that no one's going to say, shut the fuck up. But now it's controversial. Now it's like, I don't even really want to fucking deal with Michael shit right now. And the reason that, like, it's hitting everyone now is like, this was me in 2015. Like, I saw what they were, and it became really hard to justify going to either paying or guest listing my way to a 16th show of Dance Gavin outside of that tour. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't listen to the music. I've been cashed out for a while. So I get it. I get being a disappointed fan, but I ask myself this all the time. When I got called out for the John Mess cocaine shit, that he got popped on and he had to leave the band, or he wanted to leave the band for that, people still are mad about me revealing that. Should I have said that? Is that too much? Do fans not want to know this? I, as a fan, as a Dance Gavin fan, learned everything I wanted to know on that tour. All the rumors, all the gossip, all the bullshit that you hear for years and years. Like, John Mess's lyrics are from his dreams and he writes about them. That's not true. That's not true at all. Tim said that's not true. Trust Tim. Like, should I not say that shit? Should I keep that silent? Is that clout chasing? Because I'm not getting paid for telling you Dance Gavin secrets.
I think it's more of you know, You also said to never meet your idols. You talk about that a lot. Dance Gavin Dance in particular is a situation where you have felt a little burnt after you got to know them and after you got to understand who they were. But you're also talking about situations that you were involved in. You know, how many times did you and John Mess party? How many times did we hang out with them? 2007, you know, backstage joking about the Vicodins and hey, fucking MySpace bulletins. We were all told to bring fucking Johnny Craig Vicodin. Like, that's not a secret. That was on a MySpace bulletin board. Hey, if anybody has any painkillers or anything, fucking Johnny got in a car accident. Let's,
Oh my God. Do
yeah,
people know that story?
come
Do
on.
Dance
That's like,
Gavin Dance know that story that when they were on the Rise Records tour with The Day to Remember and Drop Dead and
but
Alisana,
listen, here's where it gets tricky. You're
Shawnee's
going into
asking for
detail.
pills, claiming he was in a car wreck. The bands believed he was in a car wreck. I brought the motherfucker pills thinking he was in a car wreck. Then I realized he's just getting high. Like, I fell
There
for that
was
shit, dude.
there was a MySpace bulletin that, I mean, we're not coming at this from like, we're not revealing deep secrets. And this goes to another point that I'm going to make and also goes into the follow up of the show. I Hate the Scene ruins everything. I speak from experience as well as just as Matt, where it's like, hey, we've been fans of these bands and fans of this scene for a long time. So when this stuff comes up, it does kind of suck. A prime example for me is Azalea Dyne. When Tim Lebesi got convicted of having someone hired to murder his wife, I stopped listening to that band for a solid 8 years. Like, I did not give them a chance until the Reign of Fire album or whatever
Woven War.
no, Birthed in Fire, whatever that stupid Fire album they had was, and it was really, really good. But let me underline that. It took me a long time to get back into Azalea Dyne, and to follow that up, I've since stopped because that band has become destructive. If you've followed the band and you understand what is going on within the interior of that band and the core members and how none of them are around anymore other than Tim, it's not the same band. So that kind of information, it's hard to separate the music from reality when it comes to those kinds of things, because the band that I've listened to, the Azalea Dyne that I've met and that I've talked to and that I know about, is a band that I know wrote music together collectively and had something, and that music means something to me, just like the music that fucking Tillian writes means something to those bands. There's nuance to these things, and people don't understand that, and they're so quick to jump on what's cancelable and what's not. And mind you, every single band, anybody in the pop culture entertainment industry probably has something to be canceled over. Okay? Like, it's no secret that people do fucked up shit and like to party, especially people from the fame lifestyle that have money and fortunes and are touring musicians and artists and are acclaimed for their talents. Like, it's no surprise that these people just like to let loose and do these crazy things. We could be doing a lot worse. We could be calling out every fucking band. I mean, come on. There's lines here, and we chose to go about it a certain way, and I think people need to choose to go about it a certain way when they comment on things and when they decide to invest in things. Are you really having Dance Gavin Dance be your identity? Okay, cool. Then you better be ready to fucking talk about it when people bring that shit up, because you're now making that conscious decision to have them be your identity. Shit's gonna be brought up. You can't start complaining. That's your identity now. You made that choice, motherfucker. You did this. You're muted. You're muted.
It's because I was coughing, bro. You didn't want to hear me cough. But you brought up a great point. Okay, the fans make this shit their personality. Is that okay? No. I don't think so. I think extremists of any type, whether you're some terrorist extremist or you're some like right-wing extremist like the people Bryan plays Roblox with, then all of that's bad. It's the same way if you're extremely into yogurt, you're probably a fucking weirdo
Yogurt?
and not cool. Okay, extremists of any type. So making a band your identity is extreme. It's too extreme. It becomes cringe at some point. But you also, like you said, you need to understand that if you're on the internet and you say something like my boy Tillian in these times, it's like you're at a time of war. Are you going to praise the Germans in 1942? Probably not.
That's
So
valid. That's
don't
fair.
don't get sad and confused and insulted when you're online and someone you say my boy Tillian, our boy Tillian, like he should be put on a pedestal, because that's the problem we've been talking about this whole time, is that if a band is abusive and they prey on their fans, which is what Tillian did, outside of all allegations, what I seen with my own fucking eyes, I seen it, preyed on his fans. It's not cool. It's not okay. You cannot have that psychological advantage over someone and prey on them. Abuse of any kind is wrong and manipulation is wrong. But walking into this, wanting the admiration and that devotion that Tillian desires is what made all of that so fucking gross for me. So I'm sorry, Dance Gavin Dance Reddit, that we came at that so hard and I dropped a bunch of bombshells on you. We had to paint the picture here that this band has a pattern of being problematic. I mean, didn't you just find out that they're looking to replace the vocalist altogether, that they're holding tryouts?
I didn't think we were going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was going to be something that we
Bryan,
brought up.
we ruined the scene.
I mean,
fuck all of them. I'm saying names. Did you notice I didn't edit names out of this shit? Because I don't care. I want you to be ashamed.
I've been going deep on the discussions with the subreddit, and what I kind of did is I dropped a little nugget in there, and people got mad at me because they're like, why are we talking about a new singer? And I'm like, listen, I'm just talking about a very relevant topic.
Because the last one was a fucking rapist, bro. And he's getting booted. So the whole like sick ass minority of people that believe that Tillian's innocent or attack the people that came out with allegations about him, it's for them. It's so they know that your boy isn't coming back.
I think that there's a chance he may in the future. It's not going to be an immediate thing. You guys have to understand.
They were about to do the right thing. It's possible.
They were about to do an album schedule, okay? When a tour release schedule with Coheed, it's a very big thing. They just announced the Dance Gavin Dance and Evening with Friends, where they're going on with Royal Coda and a couple other bands. So they are going to do that.
Royal Coda and a band called Body Thief that Kurt manages. Does anyone else feel grossed out that with the allegations against that band in particular, Dance Gavin and Kurt fucking Travis, who's in Royal Coda, that you have a band on the bill called Body Thief? When we're talking about sexual abuse and rape, the band's called Body Thief? Bro, that's not even a fucking cool name. These indie bands, like, you could have went with a made-up word like Sion Var or whatever the fuck Royal Coda is supposed to mean.
If you have if it's called Body Thief, you better come with the fucking heat. I feel like if it's called Body Thief, you better come with a breakdown.
Car Bomb. I wouldn't call my band Car Bomb because it's going to come up with a bunch of different shit when you Google it.
Not if you do Car Bomb Band, bro. People understand fucking Google directions.
If the interns were here right now, I would boot.
People understand Google dictations, I think. Holy shit. I think that's I think it's also necessary to with the Reddit thing too. Let me just finish with that.
Yeah, make sure all those fucking rotten strawberries on the Reddit get all their fucking time. Make sure that we address each and every one of them.
That's what I was going to go with.
You know that they have the noose out for me right now.
Everybody's so looking forward to what the band's decision is going to be, but they don't understand. That's another thing. People are disconnected from the behind the scenes where we're not, and I think people don't understand what's going on. So yes, think about this. They had a support spot on the Coheed and Cambria tour. Okay, they got booted, unfortunately, whatever. And now they're doing their own tour with bands that they're closely associated with, that they're probably brother acts with. Okay, Royal Coda, obviously Kurt Travis, Will Swan, and then Body Thief, a band that Kurt manages. The fact that people are just so anticipating this glamorous return of Tillian, or that everything's going to be swept under the rug. You don't understand the schedule these boys are about to endure. They're about to probably hit 2 pretty big tours back to back. Okay. The tour that they're going out with right now is sacrificing a frontman for the sake of Andrew Wells. And I believe they are going to have a fill-in guitarist. So Andrew's going to be doing all the parts, but if that's not the actual choice where they're going to stick with Andrew, I mean, yeah, they're going to have probably a temporary fill-in member that's going to come and do the parts. They did this with Matt Geisy in the past with Lower Definition and Tillian. Tillian, I believe, started off this way. So it's not something that they haven't done in the past either. I assume that there's a number of vocal acts out there. I suggested maybe they get a female vocalist and turn the tables on everybody else. What do you think about that? A female vocalist with fucking mess.
I've seen it wouldn't work. I'll tell you that right now. It would never fucking work ever. John, I would never. A whole new perspective on never imagine John Mess collaborating with a woman. Sorry, that's just the type of person that he showed me. That's crazy. A lot of people on the internet were suggesting Andy Sizik, the guy who's got like 8 bands and complains on Twitter about being broke. I reminded a couple of them, and of course I get shitted on for this. Andy Sizik is like the most unstable dude in metalcore. You don't want to go and put him in this type of band. You need to go find someone who's a fucking saint. Someone who doesn't like break down or bitch on Twitter about not making money in fucking 8 different bands and needs to chill. Like, they already had Zach Guerin run his mouth on Twitter and get kicked out the band. They don't need that shit again. I think Andy Sizik needs to chill out. He's got too many bands, and the dude, like, he worries me, man. He has meltdowns on Twitter where I'm just like, when is he going to be a headline on Metal Injection or Metal Sucks or something? Because I don't know. I don't know what goes on with that guy. I hope he's way more normal in real life than he is on Twitter. That's like whatever. Like, sorry if that's offensive and sounds like a dick move.
That's pretty funny,
whatever.
actually.
That's what you've portrayed to me. I can only go off of what I know so far. Another problem that I have with all of this together to try to put a big fat ugly strawberry bow on this Dance Gavin shit is that I have a problem when people idolize and create a fake persona. Like, they create John Mess's persona or Kurt Travis's persona. They don't have, like, even the interviews I've done with them, you're not finding out much about these dudes or their lives or their persona or how they act or how they are at all. Even being on tour with them, I still wonder, like, who the fuck? How do you exist? What are you like when you go home? Like, how do you exist in everyday life? So people, especially fans, and through the music videos and his wacky lyrics, they create this persona of him being happy-go-lucky. We talked about it briefly before. This is what I see online, and it getting praised like he's not problematic, or that Kurt Travis isn't problematic, that he's the only unproblematic singer the band's ever had. That's not true. Hang on. Like, it's a long fucking ride. It's longer than the tram ride at Universal, but hang on. Like, Kurt's not a good guy. John's not a good guy. Stop it. All that shit. Like, you can have your fun and create the memes of John Mess smiling and all that shit. It's funny, swan core, swan posting, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, do we know these people at all? Like as much idolizing in middle school that I did of Kurt Cobain, what the fuck do we know about him? I know that guy wanted to die well before he did. So, like, it's crazy to me. It makes me sick with the things that I know, that if I come on here and say, Cloud Chaser, shit talker, he's trying to cancel Dance Gavin. But there's things about John that showed me that he's not a good person. Things that he said directly. Things that are like, that he joked about that weren't appropriate. Like, very, they would never have female fans if they heard the shit he says behind closed doors. Like, it was bad. So I can't tell you that shit without, like, a massive backlash or people doubting me like they did the other story. But it's like, what do I do with all of that? You know, he's still getting praised and made into a meme and looked at as this super nice guy. I can't go on Twitter and then alert every fan and shit on this dude. So, like, I just leave it alone. Like, y'all are looking up to people that are really fucking shitty, and we tried to tell you they're problematic. We tried to show you the trail of breadcrumbs, whether it's somebody leaving the band or passing away or going to rehab. All the proof was there, and it's sad. It's sad what the band turned into, because we were fans too. And we couldn't support what they've turned into, but they would have lost us somewhere along the way in this 10-album journey. But goddamn, dude, it's a shame what a lot of our favorite bands turn into. And it's hard to process. It's hard for me to process, to put into breaking news and come here and talk about it, because I feel that I can speak on the issue. Boy, I don't know if we'll ever do that again. That fucking... I should just get all the stories out on this episode, cancel all the bands, and then just be done with it. And next week, we'll go right back to interviewing cool bands, and we'll be a new music podcast again.
I got a great comment that somebody left on the subreddit about a different vocalist.
Show me.
What about that kid from I Am Abomination? Phil, what he's been doing? And I wanted to be like, actually, you know what? That's
Hold on,
not
I
no.
unplugged myself. That was so fucking good. Oh
That's not
shit.
a that's
There's a
not a
few people
bad
that get a kick out of that.
that's not a bad suggestion, to be honest, because Phil in his prime could fucking hang a fucking note. Homeboy just
I
loves
look,
drugs.
Phil in his prime, I think Phil could
Loves
still
drugs.
go out and record and sound like that. I don't know if he can tour. I don't know if he has the look, but there's just something's off. Something's always been kind of off-putting about him ever since he leaked the Attack Attack album.
I'm ready
Just
for Matt Geisy.
his willingness to, oh shit, bringing Matt Geisy out here. You know another reason we shouldn't fuck with Geisy besides like boning me on that collab and then not doing the
No,
live
hey,
feature.
I like lower definition. I like lower D.
They
Please don't
appeared on
ruin it for
that
me.
other rival
Please don't
podcast.
ruin it for me.
Yep. So they can't come on our show ever again.
No, that's not fair.
Look, man, we interviewed him like 2 or 3 times, and he fucking boned me on a guest appearance. What more do you want? Back to shitting on Dance Gavin. No, look, we need to talk about this real quick.
I got a good one. I got a good one. Hold on. So one guy commented and he goes, I'm still waiting for my boy Scott Stapp to come in and give us a couple yarls. And he spelled Yarl RAY or YARL. So my response was Y'all Barker. I thought I was doing a really
You're
good
a fucking
classic.
mark.
I thought I was doing a great troll. Yeah, bro, I'm trolling people. So someone
Do
goes,
they know who you are?
"Oh, I think so. Yeah, I got a couple of hate messages for sure, and I got downvoted.
Yes, I love hate messages.
I got downvoted into oblivion. One guy tells me both these. Okay, this is not a fucking joke. I got a message from a guy that said, well, it was a message for a comment. They commented on the In Spirit video that we did, and they said this podcast, the guy on this podcast are a couple douchebags, just like it was the show. Anyways, called us a douche, called us gay, called us something dumb. This dude was an actual cuck. He was inquiring about people to come and fuck his girlfriend on Reddit.
Yo!
On Reddit, in the personals. This dude was like, come breed my wife or my girlfriend. And so
got to know what's in your history if you're gonna contact us.
Dude, come on. Like, you think first thing I'm gonna do, really? You're gonna come at me?
I'm not gonna be look.
Your avatar was dumb, and so I'm gonna look and see what else is dumb, and your entire profile was dumb, bro.
I am not gonna be shit talked by some dude that's advertising for someone to come fuck his wife, because you know what, Brian? I will send you out there to fuck his goddamn wife. Son of a bitch.
Did you know they're doing a Clerks 3? That was a part of my news I was going to put on there. But did you know that they announced the poster for Clerks 3?
We were doing any fucking news tonight. You said I was just shitting on people.
Clerks 3, they're doing it. Do you remember at the end of Jalen, or I believe it was at the end of Dogma? Was it the end of Dogma? It might have been at the end of Clerks. What movie was it the end of where they go and they beat Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they go to the end and they beat everybody up to talk shit about them? Hey, did you say that Jay can suck a fat dick while Silent Bob fucks him in the or some shit like that? And then they beat everybody. They beat everybody up. That's going to be us. Yeah.
All these dudes, hunt them down and beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, dude, I'll fucking whatever, train his wife, whatever, dude. Like,
do it, because look, what pissed me off about a lot of that shit was people were coming at me telling me how to do this shit. Okay,
what the fuck do you want us to do, guys?
Number one, like, you don't do this shit, so you're not going to tell me how to do this shit. Number two,
point us in the direction of your podcasts, and we'll listen.
He didn't even fucking listen or watch us. He's not even a fan. He's telling me what to do, but he's never seen it, and he's never checked in on the Tillian videos, and he's talking shit about things I say on Twitter, telling me that, like, vaguely saying Kurt Travis is an abuser, which I'm doing on this show too, is wrong to do, and that I should say in full detail why I can't say it. And dude, 8 fucking tweets unanswered later, that son of a bitch exploded on his own timeline. Motherfuckers are not going to tell me what to do. Like, if we don't get it right, then we suck. That's it. We're not going to open a suggestion box. We're not going to ask, like, what band should we get? If we don't know what band to get and bring on and talk about, then we suck. And that's simple as that. And then we're not going to be listened to. There's no Johnny Hex watching us. There's no Daniel watching us. You know, there's no entire Discord of people shitting on me shitting on me for weeks and months old beef. Brian,
There were some spies afoot in that shit. There were some spies afoot in that bitch.
And these motherfuckers get all upset because their Discord shitting on me gets leaked back to me. And
I thought you brought the shoe back. I thought you brought the shoe back.
I'll bring. Where's the goddamn shoe?
I
How
thought
could
someone
you put me
was
through
calling
this
in.
trauma when I've already experienced such great loss? Their great loss is like losing their Neopets account. Like they're fucking dumb children that we're talking about. And their Discord must have meant a hell of a lot more to them than I could have ever imagined, because stating that it was them talking shit about me was apparently pushing a false narrative and painting them in a bad light. And fuck Jonah, you can eat my ass. But dude, this fucking Discord is going off talking shit about me. Like one dude's mad because I got in an argument with him about TMZ. I remembered it too. It jogged my memory. He said, TMZ is not a credible source. I said, it's credible enough for me. And like,
TMZ, they're so credible. They're so credible. They broke Kobe's death before they were supposed to. So
that's another thing that he was pissed about. He said they broke Kobe's death and said his whole family was on that helicopter. Bro, when I heard the news, they said Rick Fox was on the helicopter. Like news, it doesn't matter what outlet it is, but the person that gets there first is going to have a jumbled story. That's the fucking thing about news. Not like we went to school or learned anything about that or worked in news radio or seen how a fucking news wire works at all. Brian, I was in Calgary looking at an actual AP news wire because I saw that Kobe RIP was trending, that something about Kobe dead, and boom, it came up, and it was fucking insanity.
I'm trying to find. Oh, I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna see if this Discord's active.
You can't get mad at me over that because I said I like TMZ. He wanted to argue how credible TMZ was when all I said was I like it and I use it as a source. Like, you're not going to argue that. You're not going to argue my personal preference. Like, I have that app. I know how quick they are to stories. I like it. Fuck you. Whatever. And the other person was mad because we went at counterparts. Okay, no one from Hamilton, Ontario can fight. Let's just say that again. No one from there can fight. Brian, you knew jiu-jitsu, right? I don't even need to fight these guys. You'll lay on the ground and kick all their asses.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. I'll lay on my back. We're fine.
Yeah, and they have shitty-ass merch anyways. But look, Counterparts, they're a fucking great live band. Make sure you
I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting Counterparts.
You'll fight Counterparts and all their fans. Go see Counterparts live, but their albums are always fucking soft. So I can't recommend it yet.
I'm not gonna fight Counterparts. I like Counterparts. No, I didn't agree to that one. The
reason that all this drama, I brought it on myself, Brian. I'm a realist. I'm upfront about it. I'm a target for this shit because we've gone so hard at bands and speak so fucking open, abrasive, and honestly on Twitter that I'm an easy target. And that's why screenshots get leaked of me and people get angry and they comment shit on our YouTube that has to get deleted on a regular basis. Like, I'm used to that shit. It happens. That's just the way this podcast is going to go. But should I stop speaking honestly? Because, I mean, I'm abrasive for a reason. When I say I don't like Telly Smith of The Word Alive, I mean that shit. I don't fucking like him. And I don't like the fact that I haven't liked him since that Empires EP. And I had to act like I liked him in front of VPs from Fearless. That was awkward. He's not cool. His band's not cool. I watched his bandmates steal weed from another driver on tour. That made me feel shitty about him. I tried to give him a second chance, hang out with two of the guitarists. They're fucking whack. Now, like, I think they both left. But Telly has protected tweets. You can't see what he's tweeting. And it has something to do with him being friends with piece of shit Ronnie Radke, who's, by the way, we're his favorite podcast. Him and Soraya, who just left the WWE officially. We're their favorite fucking podcast.
We wish they'd come on because we talk about a lot of great things.
I mean, Ronnie said he would. He's just a big fat phony fucking liar. So I don't know. I have
so many questions about the first Escape the Fate EP.
I have so many questions about his dad allegedly being a Hell's Angel that's going to kill me and put a bullet in my skull. Anyways, Telly's tweets are protected, and I think it has something to do with the homophobic and transphobic rants that Ronnie Radke goes on. He has some really warped views about trans people. He does not know genders, and he doesn't accept people defining their own gender. It doesn't make sense to him. He has a feeble, tiny brain inside a thick fucking skull, so he doesn't understand it. And you know what, Brian? There was a time in my life, I would say 09 and 2010, maybe the time when screenshots were happening and things were still on
Yeah.
timelines. That
Screenshots happened recently. The tweet happened a long time ago.
shut the fuck up. Okay, you're booted too. But I can understand somebody being ignorant enough that they don't understand trans people. That's not what we're discussing when it comes to Ronnie and his rants. He's got a point that he's trying to prove and push, and he's not wanting to listen or understand anything further. So it's full of hate and ignorance.
He's also a fucking metal vocalist talking about gender
Brian,
identity, which
Brian,
I
if you're
don't
gonna say what
necessarily.
he is, you have to be accurate. We're talking about Ronnie. He's probably gonna sue us in the next couple weeks. Okay,
I
he's a
am.
shitty metal vocalist, a shitty metal vocalist.
Okay, sorry.
Is he metal? Hold
Rock?
on, let's Google it.
Rock? It's rock.
Yeah,
It's
rock
like metal.
vocalist, rock.
I
A
call it
shitty
metal.
rock vocalist. Yeah, can't sue us for that.
He's also talking about gender identity, which is just out of his wheelhouse. Clearly, and that's not to say. Listen, let's take that statement, or let's at least take the perspective. From what it seems, Ronnie Radke's perspective is that he can't take somebody identifying their own gender, meaning somebody to sit there and go, "I'm a female," even though sexually I have a dick and balls. I'm a male. Biologically, I am a male, and that's probably his point, right? But what sucks is he's got a platform and a voice, and people listen to him and hang on his every fucking word, and he shouldn't be talking about gender identity in the first place because he's a fucking vocalist in a band and should be doing other shit with his time. And that's kind of an annoying. That's kind of an annoying point.
And I know that shit firsthand because his dumb ass fan. Can we say dumb ass? Yeah, his dumb ass fans came at me for the initial tweets that got Ronnie's attention by saying he's transphobic and by putting up a poll asking who sucks more, Ronnie Radke or Little Xan. All of his fans voted Little Xan, but they commented you, meaning me, as if I sucked more, which is factually we can say that's factually incorrect. Ronnie definitely sucks way more. So fuck that guy. The point being is that I think Telly's shitty because his shit went protected, so you can't see what he's saying or who he's speaking to now or if he's defending that. So that's really interesting because they're super close and the whole band around Telly has dissolved. It's him and one other member. I don't even remember if it's an original, but like something's going on there. I bring that up. That pisses people off, but nothing pisses them off more than going at their favorite scene podcast, the State of the Scene podcast. So we've discussed this a few times on Twitter. There's a serious allegation with the guitarist for Crown the Empire, Brandon Hoover. He apparently beat up his lady pretty fucking well. There's pictures and there's a lengthy story. Bro, it's bad. She got shoved up against a dresser, threatened, beat, laughed, humiliated, manipulated, but we're talking about physical domestic abuse here, man. Like this isn't okay. She sent screenshots of all of that and her telling the drummer and the drummer admitting that he knew it happened and that they're glad she's okay. Basically, the band knows that they have an abusive member and they're not doing anything about it. So it got tweeted around and people were tagging Motionless in White because there's a massive tour that Crown is on with Black Veil Brides, Motionless in White, and Ice Nine Kills. That's a pretty fucking big tour. Dare I say that those are like the biggest bands in this scene. Like that's a particular vibe of like black hair and pale faces and some death and makeup. Like that's a big tour. That's a big deal to be a part of. People tweeting that they should be removed got noticed by Chris Motionless, and he said that the band has been in communications with their management about a replacement. The thing is with the replacement is you're not just talking on a moral grounds of booting the band, but I guess like on a financial grounds that they need an opener for this band that like everyone else. The way that the poster looks, it's like a triple headliner. So I don't know what the order truly is. I imagine Black Veil maybe or Motionless the headliner, but it's logistics and there's more involved with getting the band on. So it's like, where does your morals stand in that? How bad do you want this band on? And how fucked up are Crown the Empire to not kick this guy out? How much does he mean to you and your band that you're willing to risk your rep and keep him in there? It's the same as if Dan Scavin would have kept Tillian in there. And that's why bands make that move. If not for moral grounds, they do it for business. These guys did neither. So the fans calling for it, I'm not going to feel bad when they get booted from that tour. I also find it kind of off-putting and disgusting that Mike Zemer, on the same day that these allegations are coming out, Mike Zemer is praising Crown the Empire on their 10-year anniversary and what they meant to him and how he was there from day one and how they've grinded. And no one commenting on it says anything about the abuse against with their guitarist. That bothers me. That's gross to me. So this young lady, her name on Twitter is Heidi. She goes to State of the Scene podcast, who we can all unfortunately agree is the biggest podcast of this type of music. She goes to them and they redirect her to two like support groups. Basically, we're not going to touch it. We're not going to speak on it. State of the Scene claims that if a band is abusive or problematic, that they just don't talk about them or support them. And I can understand that in the case of like, hey, when there's a terrorist, you don't say his fucking name so they don't get fame, you know? But also, too, you're neglecting to inform people who attend the same fucking shows of that band of what they've done. And we've seen it. The reason that bands like Mikey and whatever Misfortune is today, or how Dan Scavin will be in the future, there's going to be fans that have no idea of the bad stories. There's Dan Scavin fans that have no idea that Johnny Craig was in the band, or what he did, or the MacBook scandal. They still don't know about Kurt. They might not know about Tillian. They might not care. They might not pay attention. It's fucked up. So I feel the need to speak on that, and I always have. And I've always said the same reason, Brian. I always bring up the same example. All ages venues were fucking awesome. It's a great way to fucking grow up, enjoy live music, not get raped by a pop punk band, not get preyed on by older dudes, not be, subjected to alcohol and drugs like a rock show used to be or could be, that you're having a good time. And I think of places like Chain Reaction, and I would hate for abusive people in the scene to do some shit there and get it shut down or have something bad happen any further. It's bad enough that bands are getting canceled. Wait till like the whole fucking culture's affected. We already took a hit with the pandemic. We already had rock festivals and rock tours dying out before the pandemic. Now it's the band's own detriment that we're losing more and more artists and bands are dropping like flies, or the fans are just leaving because they're disgusted in the way people act. Like, groupie culture's always existed, but it's never been told and upfront and camera phones and Reddit and first like bird's eye view of the shit like depicted on the internet. Like what was that rapper? Lil Peep died and the whole thing played out on Reddit. We had it in real time. Like you didn't have that with Jim Morrison.
That's accurate, but at the same time, like, we know that type of behavior, like the groupie behavior or the just the people that go to shows, we were a part of that. We were with
shit that happens now was probably always happening. It's just that
exactly.
spoke on. And
you can see that on like Metallica documentaries and shit.
I mean, wasn't it Aerosmith? Steven Tyler had a 14-year-old that their parents signed her rights away to him. Like, there's so many famous people from that era that were taking advantage of young girls, fucking them, marrying them, doing all sorts of shit. That type of shit being ingrained in rock and roll is a problem, because at the foundation of what these shows and what these bands are is rock and roll. It's wild, aggressive music. We're not going to see a fucking tea party. We're not going to indie shows. Like, we're not talking about something soft that you can, bring a book to and read while they're playing. We're talking about loud, in-your-face music that comes with persona, characteristics, and attitude. That shit cannot spill over into abuse. Yeah. It can't. Because we're going to lose all of it. And so then we're just going to be a bunch of old dudes telling our kids about a bunch of metal bands that used to be heavy or used to be the heaviest band or had a cool singer, had a cool groove, and none of them exist now because the whole culture died off, because you're either a mainstream artist or you're nothing. Like, this is the underground as we know it. It's for any genre. That's why these bands are blended with 1,000 genres. Like, this is it. This is the proving grounds. This is for the people. This is the affordable ticket. The time when their shirts are $10 and $12 before they hit the Toyota Center and the shirts $50 fucking dollars. Like, I don't want to lose this shit because abusive dickheads taking advantage of their fans. The shit shouldn't be happening in the first place. I'm not going to stop speaking on it. I'm not going to stop speaking on people that go on like what Ronnie did with a homophobic or transphobic rant, because I can speak to those people. I do feel I can change minds when it comes to that shit, because I don't need to fully understand a trans person to understand that they deserve equality and that they go through a lot and that the suicide rates are alarming and depressing, honestly, when you read up on it. That they deserve a fair shake at life like anyone else. Why make it harder for that individual because of like skin tone, living conditions, whatever it is? It's only okay to make fun of someone for what band they like. That's the only time. That's the only time I'm going to be okay with it. You want to stereotype someone for their band, whatever. But, like, we need some equality. And I feel like I can speak to those issues because I was once a free thinker that got off on the wrong path and was ignorant at times because of shit I didn't understand. You can't be unwilling to understand something and then the opposition for it. And I think a lot of that is politics. I think that's what happens in the world today. I don't understand it, so I'm going to hate it, oppress it. I'm going to keep it away from my family. I'm going to make sure it doesn't become legal. I'm going to make sure that it's not accepted as human or right or okay. And that's what happens. It's stupid. Um, I'm going to keep doing what I do. I think the internet's going to keep doing what they do. I expect a lot of hate. I hope Dance Gavin Reddit sees this shit directly. I don't know any other tidbits I could drop. I wish I had the arrest record of John's cocaine charge so we could talk about that. I could bring up the Chunk story and probably get them canceled, but that's not what we're fucking about. I could talk about new music. West Side Gun had a sweet ass album.
I feel like I just have to share this. I've been kind of waiting to share it all day. Matt's just going to let me take over the show. First of all, what we have to, I think most importantly, we have to say that we lead with love. We lead with love here, and we want to make sure that we, know that people understand that. And it's all about the kids. Look at Elon Musk. Doing my best to help the underpopulation crisis. A collapsing birth rate is the biggest danger a civilization faces by far. Nick Cannon chiming in right there with you, my brother. Yes, Elon Musk recently, it was reported that he has 2 twins with a SpaceX executive, I believe, or a Tesla executive. I forget, but an former executive of his, I think. Anyways, he has 2 twins with a former colleague, and bringing his total to, how many kids does Elon Musk have, Matt? Do you know?
Like 15.
9.
It's a lot.
9. Becca says he has a breeding fetish.
I could see it. Did we fully roast the state of the scene, guys?
I think so. That was
So they get told because you selfishly chose your career over doing the right thing. You're trying to dig your way out of a hole, but you literally can't take this back. This isn't my career. It's a hobby. I have a full-time job outside of this. The money we make off of this podcast versus what we put into it is next to nothing. We covered the band when they crossed over with news from other bands. When we were offered a chance to promote the new tour with a giveaway, we turned it down. Okay, they still talk about that shit, and there's still ads on their page. But look, this is what I have a problem with. The money we make off this podcast versus what we put into it is next to nothing. Here's what they send if you're an artist. If you want your shit looked at or reviewed, you're paying upwards of $5,000, $1,000. Like, they're going to charge you to get your...
My bad.
Really?
My bad. I thought that was going to make this be the big one. I'm trying to get so people can see.
Good job. They're charging artists to look at their shit. I mean, look, we're doing it for funsies. I'd love to charge for it, but that also seems like a dick move. It also seems like you're kind of full of shit when you're in a position like, look, if you're charging this much, that means you can probably get those amounts because it's not like anything lower. So don't come at me and say this isn't like, whether it's a career or not, or you're making money or not, take it seriously. But don't lie to the fucking people. They cowarded out, and when I brought up that they were being cowards about it, everyone took that, or at least the haters, the Dance Gavin fan base, took that as a pick me. It's always been a fucking pick me. I'm on Twitter sharing links to the podcast. Like, it's always been that. That's the fucking whole point of social media. Like, shitting on those demo team assholes is also a pick me. Like, hey, these guys suck at what they do. come listen to a podcast where we're actually in a studio, where we're not in the backseat of a car without phone service, living homeless in fucking Mexico. You can see a quality product if you tune in here. It's always been a pick me. So don't give me that shit. Like,
Miss
motherfuckers
me
trying
with
to
that
change
shit.
your narrative. Like, I've tweeted this over and over, and someone called me a messiah for it, and I don't think they knew what that meant. But when people have a problem with your message, they will come at you for the delivery. They will come at the messenger. They will have a problem with the verbiage. They will have a problem with everything except what your fucking message was. You can see it today if you want to talk about gun control with someone who's Republican. I know that's a banned word. I'll take my fine later. But
Republican?
you can definitely see that shit, dude. When I said like Kurt's an abuser, it's not like, oh man, that's a problem. We should stop talking about him the way we do, or that's bad. It's oh, you shouldn't say that, or if that's all you can say, you should say it like this. Like, you're not going to tell me how to go about that shit. Like, we've already chosen a fairly professional path with all the shit that we know. I just hope that all the shit that Kurt's done comes to light, and that people can find out that their unproblematic vocalist is actually just as problematic as every fucking dude in that band. It's just a toxic fan base, dude, and that's kind of gross to me. Like, when I obsessed about that band, I didn't know anyone else who liked them. I had to always show them the band, and then people would be turned and they liked them, whatever. But no one was a fan at that point. Now they're huge. You can meet a bunch of people that are probably younger than us, and they're all fans, and you find out, like, it's kind of cringy what they do, man. It is. Like, making the band your whole personality, putting the strawberries in your fucking Twitter handle, calling your unborn baby your little strawberry, putting the Dance Gavin Dance font as your podcast logo. Like, that's rip-off shit. Like, you're ripping off the band to make your personality. It's just, like, I like Ghost. I think that band's dope. I saw somebody online whose whole personality was Ghost, and it was just as disgusting. That shit's annoying. So if you want to get mad at me, today I've discriminated against people who still idolize bands, people who make it their whole personality, probably the entire Dance Gavin Dance fan base in general. Brian, did we get to properly advertise the What Dat Mouth Do Cucumber Suck Off contest? Ah, shit, it was
It
last
passed.
week.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah, we
Bro, they
fucked
paid
up.
me for advertisement.
Yeah, I mean, we did a portion of it. We did a part of it.
Did
We
you
did it.
say
We
abortion?
advertised a portion,
Oh,
a portion, like a sliver, a
bro,
piece.
I was
We
about
did
to
no,
report you for that
we did
cool
full.
15K.
We did a full promotion cycle for that. Yeah, we did. It was July 1st. We got it out of the way.
All
We
right,
did the
good.
tweet. Yeah, we did it all. We did it all.
Do we want to talk
I
about
got
any of
some.
these?
I got some mouth work because of the flyer. I don't know if you know that.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Psycho Las Vegas 2022. Wow, look at these headliners. Who the Emperor over Jizza and Inspected Deck, Mayhem, Last Podcast on the left, Suicidal Tendencies, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Damn, dude, there's some fucking huge acts here. Merciful Fate, Raekwon. So, like, okay, you split up like Wu Tang and a bunch of death metal bands. Wu Tang will play with fucking anybody, dude.
As they should. Can we go to that Starcade festival?
Rocklahoma.
Rocklahoma, we did cover already
Okay, cool.
because it had Evanescence, Megadeth.
Central Florida Metal Fest.
Yeah. Well, okay, we can stay here. Cold, dang. Okay, Evergreen Terrace, damn.
Drowning Pool. Wow. Oh
Yeah, dude,
shit.
check that
I
out.
guess
Chesty Grin, Upon a Burning
Central
Body,
Florida, you're either like into pop punk or death metal, so I'm sure this would be their
Sons of
thing.
the Swarm,
Look at all the
nice.
bands we haven't heard of at the bottom.
No. There's some good ones.
All right, sure. Rust Fest. Who doesn't love good
What?
Rust?
Oh, Dropout Kings at the top of the label. Shout out, Dropout Kings, alumni of the show.
Boom. And a Virtue.
Is that Oceanal at the bottom? No, it's not.
No,
No, it's not.
it's just something else. The Breathing Process, Exit Wounds, Filth, The Convalescence of Virtue Convictions. That's pretty sweet. Here we go. Starcade 2022.
This is what's
Skylit
up.
Drive, the original lineup, Impending Doom, Bury Your Dead, I Set to Kill, Fit for Rivals, Across the White Water Tower, show alum, Variants, Bleed. Is that band just really named Bleed?
Who did
Someone else,
we?
Promises Untold, I don't know. And We Are, who gives a shit?
I Set to Kill. Who did we see them with? We saw I Set to Kill with
Dude, I don't know. I saw them years ago. We booked them for a show with Inaviate and A Thorn for Every Heart. They didn't show up, and when we opened the van door to pay them, they were in their van all coked out. Probably shouldn't say that either, but yeah, they're still going strong. One of the sisters still in the band. They're cool. A Skylit Drive is back. I don't know if they're allowed to call themselves that, but that's the original lineup with Jordan Blake, so that's kind of fun.
Bury Your
Impending
Dead.
Doom.
That's what I'm about, son. Give me it.
I don't think
The
I need
Bury
to
Your
see
Dead
Impending
live is
Doom
one of
ever
your
again.
is Bury Your Dead Alive is one of the best live albums of all time. Chain Reaction from like 2005.
Is it? Firefly Fest. Ooh, Dua Lipa. Love me some Dua.
Wow, what is this? Okay,
Charlie
Weezer, Big Sean,
XCX. Hey, look,
Zedd,
Rainbow
Peter
Kitten
Robinson,
Surprise.
The Head and the Heart, Seven
Youngblood.
Lions.
Hate him.
Oh
St. John
wow,
Corday. Ash Nico.
Ashy Nico,
Benny the
what?
Butcher. 100 Gex.
Neil Francis, The Backseat Lovers. Yo, Mannequin Pussy.
Oh, who doesn't love some mannequin pussy?
Fuck yeah, Vanessa's playing. Hey, Vanessa is a great fucking DJ. If nobody has had the chance to see Vanessa, Vanessa puts on a phenomenal fucking performance. I saw her at Hard Summer twice. My first year and I think maybe the last year I went. No, I saw it. But yeah, Vanessa is phenomenal. Great
I'll look
live
her up.
performance. I've seen her a couple times.
Michigan Metal Fest. This looks terrible.
Oh, Oceano's on this one. That's right. Oceano, Attila, and then that's about it. I set my friends on fire.
Hunt the Dinosaur.
Yeah, Hunt the Dinosaur is pretty dope.
Fuck this, dude. I would not go to this. VIP available. What, dude? Can I just like get my own section and not be near anyone who likes those bands?
Oh, you were just the Nancy
Did this
naysayer.
festival already happen?
I don't know. I'm trying to put it up. Madball.
Oh yeah.
No. Did it?
I'm
August
pretty
26th,
sure those
28th?
artists got
No.
announced and we didn't show it though.
Another one with, oh yeah, this is the Irate Fest with Kentucky Oklahoma Kid, isn't it? Yeah.
Belushi Speedball.
Belushi Speedball. I mean, yeah. There you go. Alum of the show.
Alumni of the show.
Yeah.
One of our
And then
first
the
episodes
Liquid
ever.
Death metal logo and the Nuclear Blast.
Yes, we can finally cover this story. They look similar, and I guess this erupted. A simple joke of the Liquid Death guy pointing that out erupted into the web designer getting called out by a bunch of crazed fans, and he had to apologize publicly. It looked like a whole spat. So be careful what you tweet on the internet because you could get somebody in trouble or canceled.
Wow. And if nobody's following the Radio Shack Reddit or Twitter, I highly
Oh,
recommend
it's lit, bro.
the Radio Shack Reddit or Twitter got suspended for a day because it said if you find a squirter, marry her.
Yeah, dude. They were going at people. That's got to be an account that like they just picked up, like somebody acquired.
No,
the
it's
name.
what it is. It's a cryptocurrency trading website now.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it's the PR person for them. They bought the handle Radio Shack, and now it's a fucking.
Yes, that's fucking hard, bro. I can't wait until like I don't know. Little Caesars goes out of business. Oh, they're the new pizza of the NFL. I don't know. Someone goes out of business and we steal their Twitter handle and just go crazy.
Oh, Papa John's. We're gonna be Papa
like,
Matt and
Papa
John.
Yo, why is Kmart talking about bitch slapping people?
Yo, why is Papa John's talking about stuff and stuff?
You want the blue light special, motherfucker?
You want that red light special, girl?
Oh man. Any last words before we get out of here and return to our normally scheduled programming from here on out?
Hey bitches, we're in it to win it. So I don't know what else you expect from us, but we ain't going anywhere. So that's about that.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm not leaving.
Do we fucking? You guys can find me of Bryan of Death, Instagram and Twitter. The Common Chaos on Instagram and Twitter. Got a new episode out now. Check the shit out. You can also get it at www.commonchaos.net. Because of online bullying and harassment, I had to cancel my Roblox and what was the other one?
What the fuck? You don't play Minecraft or Roblox anymore?
Minecraft. No, dude. A bunch of kids on Minecraft told me that they were going to punk me and fuck my wife, so I had to get out of there. I wasn't about that mess. Yeah, dude, I wasn't about that mess. I got off.
Did they know that you fucked that cuck's wife on Reddit that didn't like our podcast?
You're 13. You can't be talking about my wife that way. I don't appreciate it, so I got out of there. Where can they find you, Matt?
You can find me on Instagram, posting flyers, or probably on Twitter, hating on your favorite band at Scene Radio. Twitch.tv/IHateTheScene, Facebook.com/IHateTheScene, the most important one to feed our families, YouTube.com/C/IHateTheScene. You find all those links and more on the Instagram Linktree, Twitter Linktree, or IHateTheScene.com. Make sure you send us all your hate mail. Address it to me, and you can hang from my fucking ball hair, Dance Gavin Dance Twitter. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck y'all, you dumbass strawberries, you dead swans.
Fucking Mark!